Okay, so for part A, I'm going to start it off with finding the derivative because that's what it's asking for. So it says write an expression for the slope of the curve at any point x comma y. Well, the slope of any curve you can get by, or a formula for it you can get by taking the derivative. So we'll take the derivative and see what we get. Whoops. We'll see what we get. We have just normal derivative here. Then product rule, that will be the first part of the function, that will be the second part, and then I have just normal implicit differentiation. Here I have implicit differentiation, and then that goes to 0. So that's what will happen when I take the derivative. So let me explain this real quick. The derivative of x squared is 2x. Then I have first, and I consider the negative as part of that function, so I do a plus sign here. That way I don't have to distribute. First d second plus second, right? That's the second. D first, derivative of negative 2x is negative 2. And then do implicit differentiation here. I take the derivative normally, that's 8y, and then tack on a dy dx equals 0. And now what I have to do is group my dy dx's, so I have a negative 2x dy dx and a plus 8y dy dx. And I'm going to move this over by subtracting it, so it becomes a negative 2x. And I'll move this, excuse me, I'll move that over by adding 2y to both sides, so that'll be plus 2y. And then I will factor out a dy dx here. So I'll get dy dx on the outside, negative 2x plus 8y equals negative 2x plus 2y. And then I'll divide both sides by that. So dy dx equals negative 2x plus 2y divided by negative 2x plus 8y. Now on this one, we're done. So the expression that tells you the derivative, or I mean tells you the slope of the tangent line at any point, is right there. However, I'm going to simplify it because I read that you have to do the second derivative. So I'll simplify it by factoring out a no, not a dy dx, a positive 2. So I'll have 2 on the outside, and that's just x, negative x plus y. And then 2 on the outside here, and I'd have negative x plus 4y. And so those cancel out. So that's what I'm going to eventually use to take the derivative. I just wanted to simplify it a little bit. Alright, so that's part A. Part B says find an equation of the tangent lines to the curve at x equals 2. Part B, okay, find an equation. So part B, I already have a formula for my slope. I'm going to need to use y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Now my x1 is already given. That's 2. So that's very nice. To get my y1, because I need a y value, I just plug in 2 here, and for x, I plug in 2 for x, and I solve for y. So that's what I'll do. Let me just have it right there. So I'm putting in a 2 for x, that's 2 squared minus 2 times y plus 4y squared equals 64. And I'll simplify. 4 minus 4y plus 4y squared equals 64. I notice I can divide everything by 4, so that'll be 1 minus y plus y squared equals 16, right? If I divided everything by 4, I'll subtract 16 from both sides, so I get, I'm just going to rearrange this so it looks like a normal quadratic, 15, right? I think negative 15, so minus y minus 15 equals 0, so I just move that over. And here we have a quadratic. I can't factor it though, so I have to use the quadratic formula, Hopefully you remember that. It's the opposite of b, so this would be y equals the opposite of b, so the opposite of negative 1, that's 1, plus or minus the square root of 1 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 15, all divided by 2 times 1. So we get y equals 1 plus or minus the square root of, I think that's 61, is it? Yeah, this becomes positive, so that's 61 underneath the radical divided by 2, and that approximates to those two answers right there. So those are actually both of my y1s. And now it's time to find the slope. Well, that's easy. We already have a formula for the slope. I just need to plug in stuff. But I have two y values, which means I'll have two slopes as well. So for the first slope, I'll just plug in 4.05 for y, or 4.405 for y, and a 2 for x, so it's negative 2 plus 4.405 over negative 2 plus 4 times 4.405. And I plug that into my calculator, and I get approximately 0.154, or something like that, 153, 154, whatever. And then my M2 just comes when I plug in that one. So I'll plug that in, negative 2 plus negative 3.405 over negative 2 plus 4 times negative 3.405. And for that, I get another number, another slope. And that one equals 0.346. So I put all of that together to get two equations. Y minus 4.405 equals the m that I got when I used that specific y, 0.154 times x minus, no, plus 2, right? No. Is it a positive 2 for x? Yeah. So minus 2. And then the other equation is y minus a negative 3.405 equals all this stuff. Not so bad. Just a lot of writing. X minus 2 still. So there you go. That's part B. I'm going to end this video and do the rest in another video. I'll find the second derivative in another video.